In a quiet village surrounded by forests and towering palm trees, the elders believed something most outsiders would find unsettling. They believed the land was never truly empty. It watched, it listened, and sometimes it slept. When the spirits of the land slept too long, strange things began to happen. Men fell from palm trees without warning. Cutlasses slipped from steady hands. Illness appeared where there had been none before. So the people created a ritual that had to be performed every February. A ritual meant to do one thing: wake the spirits before misfortune found its way into the village. They called this ritual Ikpukpo, and it lasted for only one day, but the fate of the entire year depended on it. Long before the first rooster crowed on the morning of Ikpukpo, a thick mist usually settled over the red earth paths of the village. It was the kind of silence that made people speak in whispers. One by one, villagers began walking toward the shrine at the center of the community. No one rushed. No one laughed. Even the children sensed the weight of the moment, because everyone knew this was not just a festival. It was an awakening. Inside the shrine, the chief priests of the different deities had already gathered. Each priest stood beside members of his kinsmen, dressed in white cloth that glowed faintly in the early morning light. In front of them lay sacred objects: kola nuts, white chalk, and calabashes filled with palm wine, offerings meant for the unseen guardians of the land. When the oldest priest stepped forward, he raised his carved staff slowly toward the sky. At that moment, the entire village fell silent. Then the chants began. Low, ancient, rhythmic. Words that had been spoken by generations long gone. Words meant to travel beyond the world of the living. The priests called upon the spirits of the forests that surrounded the village. They called upon the spirits of the rivers that fed the farms. They called upon the ancestors who once walked the same paths. And above all, they asked the spirits to wake up, to watch, to guard, to keep evil forces far from the land. Because in the belief of the people, danger rarely announces itself. It creeps in quietly, like a shadow. Among all the prayers spoken that morning, one prayer carried a particular urgency. The prayer for the wine tappers. Every morning, these men climbed palm trees so tall that from the ground they looked like thin lines stretching into the sky. They climbed with ropes tied around their waists, a cutlass in one hand, and nothing but courage beneath their feet. One wrong step could mean a deadly fall. One careless swing of the cutlass could cost a man his hand. So during Ikpukpo, the priests lifted their voices with unusual intensity. May the spirits guide their feet on the trees. May their hands be steady with the blade. May no man fall from the heights. When the prayer ended, the villagers responded together with a powerful cry. I see. The sound echoed across the land, as if the hills themselves were answering. Once the rituals ended, the tension slowly dissolved. The village transformed from a place of solemn prayer into one of celebration. Men returned to their homes carrying live cocks. Women prepared large pots over open fires. Soon the smell of roasting meat and rich soups filled the air. Cocks were slaughtered. Meals were prepared. Palm wine flowed generously between neighbors. Children ran freely through the compounds, while elders sat beneath trees, sharing stories of past Ikpukpo festivals. But beneath the laughter and celebration, one thought remained quietly in everyone's mind. The spirits had been awakened, and that meant the village was safe. For now, as evening approached and the sun sank behind the palm trees, the fires burned lower, and the celebration slowly faded. The festival of Ikpukpo had done its work. The spirits had been called. The prayers had been heard. The guardians of the land were now awake. And in the quiet that followed, the people believed something deeply comforting. That somewhere beyond what human eyes could see, the unseen protectors of the village were now watching the farms, watching the forests, watching the tall palm trees where the wine tappers would climb again tomorrow. Because sometimes protection does not come from walls or weapons. Sometimes it comes from remembering to wake the spirits before they forget about you.